only last week, in fact, it was only a few days ago, I hit 65,000 views on YouTube. And I kind of went cold, but I was kind of happy and excited at the same time because it brought up all these memories, happy memories of the fact that 65,000 had always been my life. Everything kind of came flooding back to me, but in a positive kind of way. And it was nice to know that, again, the universe is signifying they are around. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Tech Talks and Soul Walks with myself, Julie Kubiak. Now, in today's podcast episode, I'm going to be discussing angelic numbers and, for me, how they've been interlinked with song lyrics. And you'll understand where I'm coming from by the end of this podcast, I hope. So, everyone's heard of number sequences, and I'm talking about sort of 111, 222 numbers. Now, some people do think that because you're looking out for them, you're attracting them. So if every day you look on your phone or on the computer, clock, whatever, and you see it's 11:11, some people believe you're only seeing that because you've attracted that. So isn't that then showing and proving that the law of attraction actually works? Just saying. So you could see a series of these numbers, and it could be that you see it on your watch in the morning. You could see it on a computer display, digital display somewhere. It could be on a letter. It could be on a car registration plate. It could be on a poster. It could be on a billboard type poster. If you start to see that same number, to me, there is no such thing as a coincidence. You're meant to stop. You're meant to research. You're meant to look up that number. For me, if I see 11:11 and I don't remember where I heard this from, but you're supposed to stop and think about what it is you're talking about or what you're reading or what you're listening to, because there is a message in there. 11:11, or simply the number 11, is what's called a master number, and it means it is even more powerful than just the number 1, 2, 3, whatever. When you see 11 or 11:11, what I'm seeing is like two lines. It's like a channel, basically, for information to go through those two lines of the number 11. So imagine that the center part is a channel for the information to go up to the universe or come down to you. So 11 just on its own is very powerful. It is almost like a beacon of energy that's going up and down, and the energy is emitted, transmitted through that number 11. So by seeing 11:11, it's very significant because of it being that master number. There are other master numbers of which I could go into everything about angelic numbers, but there is so much out there on the internet. You can check the numbers if you don't know what they mean. If you keep seeing the same numbers again and again, it is for you to stop and take a look at what that message is for you. Now, like I say, this story, or what I'm trying to explain here, is I don't just get the messages through the angelic numbers, I also get it through song lyrics as well. And sometimes I don't even know that it's an angelic type number for me until maybe sometime in the future. For years, when I was younger, a lot younger, I was hooked on Glenn Miller's music and I couldn't explain it. It was the love of his music. It was the film as well, the Glenn Miller story, I think it was called. And when I used to go around to see my nan Kubiak, we'd listen to the music, and I do believe at least once or twice later on in life, I actually watched the film with her. And my friends Dave and Sharon, they'd watch the film as well. And there was just something about it. There was one of his songs, you can call it a song in particular, and it was called Pennsylvania 65,000. And there's a lot of positive energy in his music. Now, Glenn Miller was around in the late 30s, early 40s, and his style of music was called big band or swing music, depending on which songs we're talking about. Some of the big ones that you may have heard of are Moonlight Serenade, that's his most famous one, And that was actually what I think he called was his signature tune. He would start any show or any kind of introduction of him, Moonlight Serenade would be played. One of his other songs that you may have heard of was the Chattanooga Choo Choo. And that is historically the song that first gave anybody over 1 million sales. And that was in 1942. So he had over 1 million copies sold. And they then created for Glenn Miller the first gold record as a token of appreciation, let's say. And that's where the significance of all records then became, has it become a gold? Has it become a silver, platinum, whatever it is? Many bands back in the days played at the Hotel Pennsylvania, and their number in the old style way of making a telephone call to somewhere in America at that time was you prefixed the destination of where you were trying to make the phone call to, and then it had a series of numbers. And I think at the time it was 5 or 6 numbers, depending on how large that state was. So that's where Pennsylvania 65000 came from. When my nan and I used to watch the film, that was my favourite song, Pennsylvania 65000. And when I saw how he actually made it, when they were recording it and they were in the studio, somebody had written this particular part and they didn't really want to film it or record it, I should say, even though the film was made from the true story. When they were actually recording the studio version of the song Pennsylvania 65000, they didn't like the music that went with it. So what they decided to do was literally stop it, make a telephone ringtone kind of noise. Obviously, now it would be electronically created, but in those days, it would literally be a telephone call that was ringing. Everyone stopped with regards to the big band playing, and then they shouted Pennsylvania 65000 or Pennsylvania 65000 or Pennsylvania 65000, whatever it was. And it was just a unique way to break up that song, because when the phone rings, and it used to, nowadays we don't answer it so often, but when phones used to ring, everybody would go quiet and hush and then answer the phone. So just give them a moment to compose. So they were doing the ring of the phone, then they were answering it by going Pennsylvania 65000. So what's the synchronicity here then? What's so significant about Pennsylvania or 65,000? Well, the first thing that I learned from watching the film was that he actually was on a plane flying across the channel, so from sort of mainland Europe and the UK, and it went down, or it disappeared on the 15th of December 1944. 15th of December was the year I was born. Clearly, I wasn't born in 1944, otherwise I would look a lot older than I do now. But that was quite weird. It was like, okay, kind of had a moment to take that in. It's like, okay, fine. Something just, I don't think it was that, but it was significant that he did go missing in the plane. It wasn't until a year later, on December the 16th, 1945, that they actually officially declared him as dead, only because they used to give it a year and a day. So they didn't leave it open as to the fact, is he alive? Is he missing? Things like that. So technically, I believe the plane went missing and therefore it crashed. Don't want to say got abducted by aliens. You know what I'm saying? Anything could have happened to him. I mean, we're talking Glenn Miller. We're not talking Michael Jackson or Prince or anybody else like this. So on the 15th of December, that's the significant date. So that has some kind of connection. So that's like the angels jumping up and down and saying, right, you like the song 65,000. The singer, songwriter, performer went missing on your birthday. Are you going to listen? Now, years later, I remember my friend Frank bought the album by Erasure, the Innocence album. Brought it round to my friend Leonie's, and we used to sit there and listen to it track after track after track. And I kind of got a bit of a buzz of excitement when 65,000 came on. Erasure only ever did it as an album track. and I loved it. Couldn't explain why I loved it. I mean, but he's really upbeat and done nothing like Glenn Miller's version, except part of the style of it. But you'd have to go away and listen to it for technical, legal reasons. I can't obviously play music on my podcast. But it again was something where the universe was jumping up and down saying, okay, do you remember 65,000? And now I can see why they were jumping up and down. But let's just say that point in time, it's like, just love the song. So in my teens, I was listening to the Erasure's version of it, and it was on constant repeat. I went and bought the album after Frank had bought the album, and it was just, I can't say it was haunting me. It was just giving me like an excitement, but it was like a real happy kind of song. Really, a happy song. You can't sing it. It just literally says Pennsylvania 65,000 or Pennsylvania 65000. But there was just something about it. And it was a weird kind of attraction to listening to that song. So for me to have been listening to it in my teens, we're talking late 80s then. Yeah, definitely late 80s. And it wasn't until 2005 when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis that I realized I could claim on a critical illness policy that I'd got. And you're thinking, why have we just jumped from this to this? Obviously, being told that I'd been diagnosed with a critical illness that was going to affect the rest of my life, I was still looking for a positive from that. And apart from the fact that 65,000, that significant number to me, had a link to it, I knew that I was protected. I knew that I'd been told about this number many years ago, and it was significant to me. Now, yes, my life did change drastically with this diagnosis, apart from the fact I was also heavily pregnant with my first child. But I was ever the optimistic, looking for that positive, looking for those signs that things weren't actually going to be as bad as I thought they were going to be. So 65,000, yes, 65,000 payout back in 2005, huge amount of money. But I thought, from everything that I'd been through, let's just go on holiday. So I put the paperwork in, put the claim in, and within days, it got rejected. It didn't just get rejected, it got rejected in a huge way. They sent me all the premiums back that I'd paid as though I'd never even had the policy. And I was gobsmacked. And I thought, but I'd been hearing this number all the time, the payout, why wasn't it happening? Now, it took 5 years to fight really with them to get that money that I was entitled to. Although they did allow me to reapply, they obviously had to take back the premiums as though the policy was then put in place again before they could actually award me the 65,000 on the critical illness policy. So the minute I knew that I'd got that money and that money was in my bank and I could breathe a huge sigh of relief, because 5 years of trying to work this out and sort it all out. Admittedly, in the background, what was going on was they had changed their policy with regards to their payout, and it all changed. So the minute that money hit my bank account, I thought, I want to go on holiday. I want to take my girls to Florida. I want to be in Orlando for my 40th birthday. So I think it was about 6-9 months later, we're in America for my 40th birthday. And it's only when I was researching the dates, times, and things like this for this podcast that it was Glenn Miller's 40th. He was 40 at the time when he went missing. And even though I had my birthday in America on the 15th of December that year, 2012, that would have been when he was 40 as well. And that's kind of quite spooky in some kind of ways. The fact that I was at that age and I was in America, and he was at that age when he actually went missing at sea at the English Channel. Now, only last week, in fact, it was only a few days ago, I hit 65,000 views on YouTube. And I kind of went cold, but I was kind of happy and excited at the same time because it brought up all these memories, happy memories of the fact that 65,000 had always been my life. And it's almost like a little nod to the fact that it reminded me with the Glenn Miller experience, the story, the 65,000, the Erasure version of it, the multiple sclerosis, critical illness payout, everything kind of came flooding back to me, but in a positive kind of way. And it was nice to know that, again, the universe is signifying they are around, there is help coming. And I won't go into it on this podcast. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk about something that's going on as well in my personal life in the next few episodes' time, let's say. But it's as though they're just wanting me to know that they are still around and they are protecting me and they are looking out for me in a financial way, is what I want to say, because there is something going on in the background at the moment that has been dragging on for years. And I'm hoping that it's going to be coming to an end very soon. So another number that has been significant to me in my whole life has been the number of the houses that I have lived in or family have lived in. So the house that I was brought up in predominantly most of my life, and then I returned back to it and ended up buying it myself, was the house in Coventry, and that was number 261. Now, 261, I actually like the number 9. So 2 plus 6 plus 1 equals 9. My nan Rattigan lived in a house about 10-15 minutes away from us, and her house number was 126. Again, it adds up to 9. When I bought my first house in Sapcut over in Leicestershire, yes, that's where the name Sapcut Girl comes from, I was living in a house and it was number 1. And my home in France for many years was just what was called Lotissement. And Lotissement is a patch, a placement of properties, and it doesn't have a particular number or a street name. And it was only back in, I think it was about 2013, 2014, that they allocated a road name to my road, and they gave us a house number, and it was number 2. So house numbers, I've lived in a number 1 and a number 2 house. Now, 2, 6, 1 add up to be the number 9. And with the properties that I've lived in, properties with number 1 in, number 2 or 26, and they're all these recurring numbers as though it's places where I'm meant to be. If the house number hasn't added up to a 9 or had a 2 or a 6 or a 1 in it, to me, I felt that I wasn't meant to be there. And one of the properties I did live in, that was number 27. Now, even though 27 adds up to 9, I'm going cold just even speaking about this. My hair on my arms are standing up. It's as though I wasn't meant to stay in that property for long, or it wasn't the property for me. Even though, like I say, it adds up to the number 9, there's just something not quite right about it. So 2, 6, 1, definitely get good vibes with those. Finally, the last number that I want to mention is my mobile phone number, which I've actually had since before my daughters were born, had it that long, and it ends 216. And it's weird because that's only my second ever mobile phone number that I've had in the UK. I have had a French mobile phone number. I can't remember what the number was though. But the 216 at the end, it still kind of links back into the same digits. So it's definitely positive numbers for me. So what I've done is I've researched the number 216, and it's from a website that I always refer back to. It's just one that's always been there. And I've got to thank Joanne from Sacred Scribes, if she's still around, if she's still doing anything on that website, because that's the one I've always used when I've been looking up angelic numbers. So on her website, it says, the angel number 216 may suggest that auspicious new beginnings will appear in your life to advance you along your spiritual and life path. Your thoughts are manifesting quickly, and you are asked to maintain a positive and productive outlook and mindset, and trust that your material needs will always be met as you serve your spiritual, divine life purpose and soul mission. So I kind of go cold with excitement when I read that. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It is meant to be. These properties, mobile phone numbers, everything 261, 126, 126, whatever it is, all add up to 9. So she goes on to say, the angel number 261 encourages you to focus upon your emotions, family issues, the home environment, and yourself as a person and spiritual being, and choose to live a life of love, joy, and service. Now, okay, I'm not angelic, but I do like to think that I'm doing the right things in life. It then goes on to say you can expect fresh, exciting new experiences and opportunities to enter your life that will perfectly match what you need at this time. Be creative and bring forth new ideas. It obviously relates to individual numbers of 2, 6, 1, which equal 9. So, why do I like the number 9? I went in and I checked out what she says about the number 9. So, for the number 9, then, it says angel number 9 is aside from the angels that your life path and soul mission involve being of service to humanity through the use of your natural skills and talents. Angel number 9 suggests that you're a natural light worker and encourages you to look at ways to serve others in positively uplifting ways. Now, it's beginning to come back to me now why I do like the number 9, apart from everything that I've just read to you. The fact that multiples of 9 add up to the number 9, so each digit within any multiple, so like 81, 72, which was obviously the year I was born, 63, they are multiples of 9, and each of those digits altogether add up to the number 9. It is just something about it. I can't explain it. But the number 9 and obviously 261, to me, they are significant. Now, everybody has different reasons as to why they like certain numbers. And my eldest daughter, not my youngest, my eldest daughter loves the number 5. So even when she was little, if I would give her little jobs to do, she'd insist that I give her 5 jobs to do or 5 things to remember. Ask her now why she's walked into a room and she can't remember, but ask her to do something that's related to the number 5, she'll remember it without a shadow of a doubt. So it would be things like, okay, you've got to go and clean your teeth, have a wash, brush your hair, get dressed, and get your shoes on. So there's the 5 things. And for her, the number 5, when I researched it, definitely makes sense for her. And it says on Joannes' website, it says the number 5 resonates with the influences and attributes of personal freedom, the unconventional, individualism, non-attachment, change, life lessons learned through experience, variety, adaptability, and versatility. And the list just goes on. She is actually ADHD and autistic as well. So it definitely makes a lot of sense that number 5 is significant to her. So with regards to it being an angelic number, it says that the number 5 brings important life changes are upon you, and these changes will bring about many positive opportunities to you. The angels ask that you look upon these changes with an optimistic and positive attitude, as they are destined to bring you many long-term benefits. Remember to be grateful for the auspicious opportunities ahead of you. When the angel number appears, it is a message to do with your health and well-being. Your angels are helping you to make positive, healthy lifestyle choices and changes that will enhance and benefit you in many ways. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, rest assured that your angels love, support, and encourage you through these transitions. And if you feel any fears, ask for angelic guidance anytime you feel the need. It says, angel number 5 tells you that only you know your true heart's desires, and only you can fulfill your own destiny in your own unique way. And my eldest is definitely unique. My youngest daughter, then, she has the love of the number 3, with a very close second favourite of it being number 7, and then loves the number 10. And, well, because 3 and 7 add up to 10. And to quote what she said to me the other day, bless her, she said, and that's just satisfying. So, yeah, so she likes 3 and 7 and therefore 10. because of the addition, the adding up, whatever you would call it. So, angel number 3, then. It is about communication of self-expression, adventure, inspiration, creativity, humor, optimism, and joy. The list obviously just goes on. But with regards to it being an angel number, it is an indication that your angels are trying to get your attention. So if you're seeing the number 3, maybe you should be listening to this as well. The angel and the ascended masters want you to follow your intuition and inner wisdom so that you are able to take appropriate actions at this time. Use your creative skills and abilities to manifest your desires and enhance your life and that of others. The angels encourage you to follow your path and soul mission with optimism and enthusiasm. So what it finally says is, when the angel number 3 appears, it suggests that your prayers and positive affirmations have been heard and are being responded to by the universal energies. Have faith that your goals and desires will manifest in your life in divine right time, or as I like to call it, divine fucking timing. Trust your personal skills and talents and the love and support from the angels. Angel number 3 encourages you to be communicative and social with others and to live your life with joy, optimism, and spontaneity. Now, it's strange that it's come up with that because my youngest child is proper textbook autistic. Just to wrap this up, otherwise I could be talking about numbers for ages. It suggests that you look further to investigate developing your personal spirituality and encourages others to do the same. Angel number 7 tells you of learning new skills, listening to your own inner knowing, and stepping out of your comfort zone in order to further develop and advance on all levels. It also encourages you to take up a spiritual-based practice, professional and or career, or heart-based service if you're so inclined. With the number 10, that is then saying, with regards to it being an angelic number, it brings the message to step forward in new directions and to look to new beginnings with an optimistic and positive attitude. It will be auspicious and beneficial to you in many ways now and in the future. So the number 11 that I was talking about at the beginning, with it being like a channel, let's say, it's what they call a karmic master number, and it symbolizes the principles of spiritual awakening and enlightenment, high energy, idealism, inspiration, intuition, illumination, blah, blah, blah. I could go on and talk and talk. I highly recommend that you check out Joannes' website. So when you come across the angelic number 11, it basically is saying it encourages you to assist and inspire the human race by your natural abilities, relying on your inner wisdom and intuition to guide you. Angel number 9, I'm making this up now. Angel number 11 is what I'm talking about. It encourages you to be an inspirational guide. No, it doesn't. Angel number 11 encourages you to be an inspirational guiding light to bring illumination to others and help raise spiritual awareness. Trust that the angels support you in your light work. So basically, the phenomenon of numerological sequences or number sequences even, people have been seeing them for years, probably since the time that they actually started doing scribing and chopping into bits of stone with hieroglyphics and things like this. So by seeing these numbers or repetitive numbers, repeating numbers, they are just another way that the angels are speaking to you, because they don't necessarily speak to you verbally. You don't hear voices in your head. They're going to be symbols in any way, shape or form. So it could be numbers, colors, sounds, song lyrics in my case as well. Anything that is going to get your attraction, and it's some kind of repetitive, a repetitive message. Message probably isn't the right word. It's a repetitive sequence. Yeah, sequence would be right, because it will be constantly, and it's almost like doing ... dash dash ... ... Keep doing that and you're saying SOS. So it is to get your attention because it's consistent, and when you see it, you're starting to see it more and more often. So do just take a moment to tune in and either listen to what's being said around you at that point in time. What is it you're feeling? What is it you're thinking if it's not actually anything that you're seeing or hearing? But you've got to go within, because only you know the answers to what these angelic numbers are. You can go and research all the information on the internet and find out what other people believe these messages are. It will give you an indicator, but sometimes you are the only person that can interpret the messages. The messages are for you, and you are the only one that knows what's going on in your life and why those numbers or sequences or even song lyrics, why they are significant to you, because you are interpreting it. The other people or the website are just giving you those messages of how you can interpret it. Angelic numbers can be seen in birth dates, telephone numbers, house numbers. They could be seen on posters, magazines, on the internet. You could hear numbers, you could see numbers, people could shout numbers, you could see them on tins, on bottles, anything or anywhere. Look for the numbers, look for the repeating numbers, and then go and do your own research. So I hope you've enjoyed this strangely coincidental, don't like coincidences, but this strange chat about numbers and how some numbers have been very significant into my life. And if you like this episode, I recommend that you go and check out some of the previous episodes if you've only just found me. And I hope to see you back here in the next episode of Tech Talks and Soul Walks.